Welcome to Kellen's Corner, a video series aimed at discussing timely and relevant topics in the areas of interviewing, hiring, training, and all things talent acquisition. We will cover topics such as how to interview a candidate, how to make an offer, and how to negotiate an offer, among many other topics that are relevant to talent acquisition. Stay tuned for part one of our series, How to Ace a Job Interview. Okay, the number one thing to remember on a job interview, it's a sales presentation. What do we mean by that? You're selling yourself, your experience, your skills, and your education as a potential fit for this company and this opportunity. That means, how do I market myself for this position? You need to figure out what the company needs, who they are, and how your skills and experience can fit in and be a good match and make the best impression on this interview. Second, arriving early. The importance of arriving early cannot be understated. It's very important to display good time management. What that means is arrive 10 to 15 minutes prior to your interview. And remember, your interview starts when you drive into the parking lot, not when you walk into the building. You never know if your future boss is sitting in the car next to you and watching you eat a hamburger before your interview and doesn't make a good impression with that mustard left on your lip. So make sure that you really pay attention and have your game face on and you are in interviewing mode when you drive into that parking lot. Just as important is make sure that you don't arrive too early. Too early shows bad time management as well. So arriving into an office 30 minutes before an interview starts, you have to understand that the person interviewing you also has things going on throughout the day. So they're very busy. So arriving 30 minutes prior to an interview may also throw them off. So again, time management, very, very important in making a first impression. Next, excitement sells. What do we mean by excitement sells? No one is going to supersede you in your excitement about yourself, your skills, and your potential fit for the job. So you really need to be enthusiastic about who you are as a person, who you are as a fit for this job, and be excited about the company. People want to hire people that want to work at their companies. At MSI, when we poll our clients, 90% of them come back with the comments that, yes, we decided between this candidate or candidate A over candidate B because they simply seemed like they wanted to be here and showed a genuine interest in the company. It cannot be understated to do your research and understand that being excited about who you are, how you can help a company, and being excited about the company itself can go a longer way than anything else you may do in that interview to secure a job offer. What question should you ask? That's a great question. There are many impactful questions that you can ask. We'll go into some more in depth in part two of our series. However, just a couple right now to whet your appetite so you come back for more. Number one would be ask how you can help the company. So an example of that, in my first 30, 60, 90 days here, what are the first few tasks or the first tasks that you want me to concentrate on so that I can assist the company in achieving its goals? What this does is already puts you in the chair. It will allow the interviewer to see you in the seat already helping them, and it's a visual, a mental, and almost an emotional response that will allow them to see you in the best light. So make sure you ask that question about how can I help you immediately. Another great question to ask is, tell me about your best employee, what it is that makes them that great employee, because that's what I want to be. That question is so impactful because it not only asks a question, but it also makes a statement. It allows the interviewer to tell you about their best employee. So now you've got them thinking positively about Joe or Susan or whoever that best employee might be, and now you've made a statement of conviction to say, I want to be like that person. So not only do you have them feeling good and thinking about their best employee, they also now may be thinking about you in that light. So it's a great impression and a great question to ask. Those are some of the really good questions you can ask. Again, in part two, we'll go over some more impactful questions, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of ammunition at least to study up on. Closing the interview, another very, very important part not to be understated. What we instruct people at MSI to do, or should I say not do, is do not simply shake someone's hand and say thanks for meeting with me and walk out the door. You need to leave them, one, wanting more, and understanding that you want to hear more and that you're very interested in the job. How do you do this? Make sure that you ask this question. It's probably the most important question you can ask in a job interview, especially as it's closing. Is there anything else in my background or my experience that I can share with you that's going to give you a comfort level that I'm the right person for this job? Go ahead and write that down if you need to, or play it back, but that is a very, very impactful question. What it does is it challenges the interviewer, or if there's multiple people in the room, challenges multiple people to put all the cards on the table, or don't leave a stone unturned, that if there is something that they still need to cover or they have a question about you, you're at least laying it out there before you leave the room that you may be able to cover off on that question mark that they may have on you. So put the ball back in their court. It's one way that you can somewhat control the interview without actually having control of it. But it's a very, very important question to ask. Secondarily, and just as important, make sure that you close by saying, thank you for meeting with me. This was a very insightful interview. I enjoyed learning about the company. I'm very interested in this company. What is the next step? Make sure you ask what is the next step. That is a good indicator for you to understand perhaps how they felt the interview to go. And you may get what we call buy signs in that answer from them, that they may tell you what the next step is. They may say, you'll definitely be hearing from us, or this was very enjoyable for us as well. We think you're a great fit. The point is, you can get more information out of it. You've closed in a more impactful way. And most importantly, they know that you want the job. So make sure you do these things in closing an interview, and you will make that much better of an impression and have that much better of a chance of securing a job offer, which is always the goal. So stay tuned for part 2 of our series, where we will dive more in depth into certain questions to ask, how to answer some tough questions from the interviewer, which is always very important, and maybe some more on closing the interview so you really understand how to get that job offer. Thanks, and stay tuned for part 2 of how to ace a job interview.